This is the vocabulary for July 19th, 2013. The topic of tonight's class is hoaxes. The first word we have is hoax, and this is a humorous or malicious deception. It's basically when you try to trick or cheat someone. You do something to make them believe you. Striving. Striving means trying or making an effort. Working hard to try to do something, striving to make your future better. A con man. A con man is a person who cheats or swindles. Swindles is another word for cheat. Another by means of a confidence trick. The idea here is where you try to get people to believe you, to get their confidence, and that's why it's called a con man. It's a confidence man. But we use the short version, con man. Guru. This is from the Sanskrit Indian language, and it's a spiritual teacher or cult leader. The difference between a spiritual teacher or a cult leader is if you don't like the religion, you basically call it a cult. Inevitable. Inevitable. Inevitable is something which is unavoidable or is something that cannot be stopped from happening. And I have a typo here. It should be spelled from, but I have form by mistake. Okay, everybody, inevitable. Inevitable. Faux finishing. Faux finishing. Faux finishing is a wide range of decorative painting techniques, replicating material such as marble and wood with paint. The idea here is to try to use painting in a way to give it kind of special effects in a movie. You make the paint look like something else. And this comes from the word faux, which is French, but it's become Americanized now. And faux is something which is false or fake. A seeker is a person who's seeking. Someone looking for answers and meaning in life. A fallacy is a false belief. A cue is a signal or a response producing a stimulus. You get a cue and you do something. It's a signal for action. Absurd. When something is absurd, it's ridiculously unreasonable. It's impossible. It's absurd. Secede. Secede is to formally withdraw from a federation or alliance. This happened, I guess it was 1861, when the southern part of the United States seceded from the Union, and we had a civil war. Over the years, in the past, there have been efforts and political talk about having New York City secede from New York State to become its own separate state. Never happened, though. Persuasive. A person who is persuasive is believable. They persuade you. Competent. Competent is having suitable or sufficient skill, knowledge, or experience for some purpose. When you're competent, you're good at your job. The opposite is incompetent, which means you're not good at your job. You cannot do the work. Masculine. Pertaining to or characteristic of a man or men. It is the opposite of feminine. It is the male quality, masculine. Subtle. Subtle is so slight as to be difficult to detect or describe. So slight means small. So small you can't see it. A subtle difference. It's a very small difference. Variables. Variables. Variables are things that you can measure, and they're things that can change. So it's something that can vary or change, and when you do a scientific experiment, you're looking at and measuring the variables and trying to control the variables. Primacy effect. Primacy effect. This is something from psychology, and it's the tendency for the first items given or presented in a series to a person to be remembered better or more easily or for them to be more influential than those items which are presented later. Primacy effect. It means what you see or hear first absolutely has a strong influence. Breathtaking. Something that takes your breath away. Kind of shocking, amazing, or wondrous. Wondrous. Wondrous is something that makes you wonder. Mankind. This is sexist because it also refers to women, but it's an older word, but we still use it, and it means people or humanity, mankind. Gazed. Gazed is looked or watched. And we go on to our second page and finish up here. Avalanche. An avalanche is a mass of snow, ice, and rocks falling down a mountainside. Actually, it's not really and. I would say it's or. Oh, okay. That got messed up. Here we go. Sorry about that. Let's do it one more time. And we're up here with avalanche, and it's a mass of snow, ice, or rocks falling rapidly down a mountainside. And that means it could be a lot of snow, or a lot of ice, or snow and ice, or rocks. It could be all of them together, but it could also be separately. It's just a bunch of stuff coming down. Actually, I wonder about that, because we also have the word a rock slide, which would mean only rocks coming down, so I'm actually gonna put that back the way it was. And we've got down here again, we're over here, avalanche, a mass meaning a lot, a mass of snow, ice, or rocks falling down rapidly a mountainside. The way this is used in the video, however, is nothing about snow and ice. It's used in a secondary way, as in an avalanche of paper, an avalanche of work. You're very busy and you have a lot of stuff. So it can be used in that way as well, in that way as well, and that's how it's used in the video. Abound. Abound is to occur or exist in great quantities or numbers. Sway, to swing back and forth, or to and fro. Fro is spelled F-R-O, and it means back and forth. It's just a different way of saying it. Rant can be a verb or a noun. As a verb, it means to complain. When it's a noun, it's a rant. Endeavor is similar to the earlier word we had above, striving, and it's a concerted, which means focused. It's a concerted effort to do something. And finally, we have duped. Duped. Duped is to be tricked or deceived. Okay, this concludes a vocabulary overview for July 19th with the topic about hoaxes.